Welcome back to Approach Education. This is Zach. Today I'm going to be talking about MSNVF, also known as MRS, Mission Ready Solutions. It's an OTC here stock, so make sure that you know as well the risks when you're trading this one. I'm going to go through technical analysis, news, and what I think about the stock. Any point of the video, if you have any suggestions or any comments, make sure to drop them down. I'll make sure to answer them. I'm going to go through technical analysis, so the technical indicators I'm going through are in a playlist in the description if you would like to know more about them. Let's jump right into it. So what we get to see here on the 1 week perspective is that the stock MACD looks like it met a positive reversal after attempting a -1. That is a really good sign. Now what we get to see in volume here is that it's actually stable, not decreasing in volume yet. That is a bullish sign that we have. William percent R here, it's sitting in a little bit towards the overbought section, which is usually a little bit of a dangerous sign, and the unbalanced volume looks like it's actually decreasing, so there's more outflow than inflow there. So that is more both of them are more a bit bearish and interesting to see. On the ADX, it shows in that there is a very strong indication that a trend is forming at 24.72. After it crosses the 25.26, that trend is confirmed. 30 shows in a strong trend. Now when it comes into the moving averages, what we get to see here is basically all touching, but the stock is above them. That is a bullish sign, but it shows basically an expectation that it can trend either ways and rip in either direction. So if we were to look into the 1 day perspective, what we get to see here is that the ADX shows in a very strong trend here, but we're talking about all the way from the 30 cents, and so that kind of fixes up the ADX a little. In terms of the William percent R, it looks like the stock is highly overbought, so that's a little bit of a dangerous sign there. Looks bearish on that part. Momentum seems to be quite strong, looks bullish. MACD looks like it's actually sideways, and that doesn't tell us much other than it's going to be attempting to go on through dips and spikes all through. In terms of averages, what we get to see here is the volume looks like it's actually lowering down a little, and then having a bit of a jump on to Friday. So that is quite interesting to see, but nothing significant there. On the unbalanced volume on the 1 day perspective, we still look into an uptake of different shares in here, so the intake is higher than the outtake. Now if we were to look into moving averages, we get to see that finally the 10 SMA is now above the 30 EMA, and that is bullish. That's the green line above the red line. We get to see the stock price is above the 200 SMA and the 50 SMA, so it looks bullish on moving averages here. Now moving on towards the 1 hour perspective, and it's just merely for the next few hours we're talking about, which is Monday, so don't take this one with a lot of basically reliance to what the movement is going to be. You get to see the ADX is trading sideways, the William percent R is trading a little bit towards the overbought there, and the momentum looks like it's actually a little bit choppy in that direction. The MACD looks like it's gone towards a positive reversal, and the moving averages looks bullish in that sense, so looks quite interesting from this point of view. If we were to look into the moving average band, we expect it to trade between 11 cents on the top of the band, 10 cents on the middle, and on the bottom we're looking at a 9 cents. If we were to look into Fibonacci retracements to try to identify where the significant support and resistances are, we get to see on the 14 cent we see a significant support on the Fibonacci retracement, and then 16 cents is the one right closer to it, and 20 cents looks to be the resistance. If we were to look into significant resistances and supports, what we get to see here is that there is a significant current support sitting at actually right over here, the 18 cent mark, and then below that, right below that, we're looking at the, well, also 18, so we're looking at 17, and then 16, then it dips down to 15. 14, it looks basically 1 cent down below. So the problem with OTCs where the stock price comes in a little bit lower, looks like a lot of them have significant supports or resistances that are almost at a cent each. But the one that is really concerning is 10 cent. That is a very, very strong support there, but it's also again down to almost 50% where the stock price is currently at. If we were to looking at significant resistances, we're looking at the 19, 20 cent mark, but significantly it's more of the 18 cent mark that has been tested before here, and it's been tested as well today a few times. Now, significant trends here. I don't see any significant trend here. I mean, it is kind of fell down a little, but it's kind of trading a little bit up and down. So nothing significant in that sense. Now, going on towards company news, and this one here had a little bit of trouble just because it's an OTC, so the only source I could find was either on my broker or on here. So we're going to first go through the quarter two. We get to see that they have record 3-month sale revenue of 227.21 million. That's all Canadian, by the way, and gross profit of 2.05 million after 3 months ended June 30, and they also did record 6-month sales revenue of around 42.30. The net cash of operating activities is reduced by 1.57 to 0.86 for 6 months ended June 30th as compared to the same period in 2019. They settled around 2.2 million of outstanding creditor debt through the issuance of 14.6 million common shares of the company, resulting recognized gain in the sentiment of the debt of around almost 150,000 during the 6 months ending June 30, 2020. It also received a total of almost 500,000 under the Paycheck Protection Program of the Coronavirus Aid, the CARES Act, administered by the U.S. Small Business Administration to aid covering payroll costs and providing financial relief for company employees. So that is where their balance sheet kind of sits on. If we were to look a little bit further into latest news, this one here has actually quite a bit of positive news. Coming in just today, on the 25th of September, 58.5 million in new purchases order added. So that is quite exciting. Of course, the products are going to be shipped all from October 2020 to February 2021 as CNT contracts for deliveries. And you get to look as well into 37.5 million. And I believe I was that was on the 24th of September as well coming in. So that is as well quite of amazing news as well. Similar purchase call for delivery around October 2020 to February 2021. And then moving on as well, you get to see their previous one that made it run was the Mission Ready awarded contracts for estimated 127 million with a ceiling of 435 million. Now this is for clothing and textiles. Seems that actually the other two orders are also for clothing and textiles. So quite exciting. Well, this one here doesn't say clothing and textiles, but the first one does. But quite an exciting intake in terms of contracts for this company here. Let's take another look as well into their Twitter account. So this is their Twitter account. If you're on there, make sure to follow them if you're actually an investor of this stock. And while you're at it, do the same for me. All right. Moving on as well, we get to look into the company latest news. Nothing significant that kind of is alarming in that point, other than it actually looks like it's significant growth for this company. OTCs are usually a lot of dilutions that come in through with very little profits or not proven profits. But let's take a quick look into the presentations and show you why this one might not be the case. It trades on MRS on the Canadian TSX Venture Exchange, around 75 million in Canadian value of recent contracts awards, and around 33 USD billion of upcoming SOE contracts renewal ceilings. That $11 billion is amazing. Renewal for 10 years is up to 33 billion, and the current bridge contract for 1 year is up to 4 billion per year, or for the year. And then we're looking, if we were to move all the way down, their major customers here: Department of Defense, United States Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Foreign Military Sales, and I'm pretty sure this is Dubai ones. Or United Arab Emirates, I can't remember which one's which. Fire department agencies, law enforcement agencies, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Get to see major contracts as well over here. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but it looks like it's quite interesting. We were to look a little bit down into the end of their presentation here in terms of the summary. Get to see basically what I just summed down. Nothing significant there that I didn't mention, but the key takeaway on this one here is one of 6 TLS contract holders, authorized TLS contract holders, primes for sales growth, growing business in-depth versatility, active pipeline of new contracts, talented and experienced sectors, increased customer base, entire federal and DoD budget. Now, if we were to look into the U.S. spending from 2000 to 2019, we get to see it's actually again on an increase, so it might be as well a bit more contracts coming in for textiles and protective equipments that Mission Ready offers, especially that these ones are more of consumables, or not consumables, sorry. They basically, yeah, they wear out so often that you would probably need to continue replacing them. So they are put in a really good position in the market. Now, what do I think about the stock, and what is the possibility future for this one here? Now, it is interesting that this one trades on OTC, I understand, but it's been trading a little bit around the 25 cents and the 10 cents for I think around a week and a half now, but it actually seen a little bit of a gap up going in towards the 18th September for that contract. So what you might have here is buy the rumor, sell the news, but what we get to know is this one here looks like it might continue on to get more contracts, because my understanding of these contracts is once you start getting them, you become in more of a little bit easier to continue getting them in the future from the government, especially if you're working with the army. So quite of interesting. I do see a future for this one, although it's an OTC, so there is a lot of risk, there's a lot of volatility going around. Probably thinking around a nice buy area would be around the 10-cent mark. I probably do see it as well bounce back and forth, as it looks like contracts are just flowing in for this company. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.